You know what's strange? When we were younger, being right feels powerful. If you win an argument, you feel smarter, stronger, almost superior. You prove your point, you correct someone, you walk away thinking, yeah, I handled that. For a long time, I thought that's what maturity looked like. Having the better argument, the sharper logic, the final word. Until one day, something small happened, and it completely changed how I looked at arguments. This was right after my exams. My mind was already tired. You know that feeling after exams are over, your brain just wants silence. No pressure, no debates, just peace. One evening, I was at home with my family. A simple discussion started. Nothing serious. Just one of those normal conversations family have. Maybe it was about my future plans. Maybe it was about how I handled some things earlier. At first, it was calm, but slowly it became a disagreement. Not shouting, not anger, but that subtle tension when two peoples believe they are right, and I could feel something inside me, that urge to defend my point. So I started explaining calmly at first, then more firmly. I gave reasons, examples, logic, and honestly, I knew my argument was stronger. Every point I made sense. If this was a debate competition, I would have probably won. But something strange was happening. The more I explained, the more heavier room started to fill. You could feel the tension slowly building, not loud, just uncomfortable. Voices getting slightly sharper, the kind of conversation where nobody is actually listening anymore. Everyone is just waiting for their turn to speak. And right in the middle of that movement, something in my mind paused. I had another argument ready, another explanation, another way to prove my point. But instead, I stopped and asked myself something, a simple question. What am I actually trying to win right now? The argument or the peace in this room? Which one is more important to me? See, the ego loves being right. It feeds on it. When you prove someone wrong, your ego feels validated. You feel intelligent, you feel powerful. But here's the problem. Ego does not care about relationship. Ego only cares about victory. It does not ask, is this worth it? It just wants the final word. And in the movement, I realized something. Even if I won the argument, I would not have really won something. I would have just created unnecessary tension, distance, maybe even hurt someone, all just to prove a point. So I did something that younger me would have never do. I stopped mid-sentence. I did not push the argument further. I did not add the final logic blow that would prove I was right. I simply said, okay, not sarcastically, not angry, just calmly. And something interesting happened. The tension in the room disappeared almost instantly. The conversation moved on. No drama, no damaged feeling, just normal life continuing. Later that night, I kept thinking about that movement. I kept replaying it in my head, and I realized something important. For most of my life, I thought maturity meant always defending your point, always standing your ground, always proving your logic. But that's not maturity. That's ego in disguise. Real maturity is knowing which battles are worth fighting because not every disagreement deserves your energy. Some arguments are important. If someone disrespects you, if your values are questioned, if something truly matters, then yes, stand your ground, speak clearly, defend yourself. But many arguments are not like that. Many arguments are just two egos trying to stand taller than each other. And those battles are never won by anybody. They never really end. Because even if you win the argument, you lose something else. You lose calm. You lose connection. Sometimes even you lose respect. Think about it. How many arguments in life actually change someone's mind? Very few. Most arguments don't create understanding. They create resistance. The more you push someone to accept your point, the more they hold on to their own. It became less about truth, more about pride. The pride is a dangerous thing. It convinces you that winning argument is more important than protecting the relationship. But the truth is, most relationships are not destroyed by big events. They are slowly damaged by small, unnecessary battles, small arguments, small egos clashing, small movement where nobody chooses peace. That day, I realized something else too. When you become secure within yourself, you stop needing to prove everything. You stop correcting every misunderstanding. You stop defending every opinion because you understand something deeper. Not everyone has to agree with you, and that's okay. You can be right without forcing someone else to admit they are wrong. You can hold your perspective without turning every discussion into a battlefield. That kind of calm confidence is different. It's quiet. It does not rush. It does not compete. It simply exists, and the existence is more powerful than anything. And strangely, people respect that move. Choosing peace does not mean you are weak. It means you are in control. Control over your reactions, control over your tone, control over your ego. And control is the real strength. Anyone can argue, anyone can raise their voice, anyone can instead of fighting. But very few people have discipline to step back and say, "This is not worth my energy." That's maturity, buddy. Since that day, I started noticing something interesting. The people who feel the strongest are usually the calmest in disagreements. They don't rush to prove themselves. They listen, they pause. When something is not worth conflicting, they simply let go it. Not because they lost, but because they know some victories are meaningless. Because at the end of the day, winning an argument gives you satisfaction for a few minutes, but protecting peace gives you something much bigger. It gives you stability, it gives you clarity, and makes your relationship more stronger. And sometimes it is the most powerful thing you can do in an argument is stop talking. Sometimes maturity is not proving you right. Sometimes maturity is about realizing that being right is not that important.